The 1970s weren't just bell-bottoms and disco balls. They birthed machines so unkillable, they made modern bikes look like toys. These weren't just bikes, they were mechanical immortals. This is a countdown of the toughest, most indestructible Japanese bikes ever built. Number 11, Honda CB504. Think of the Honda CB504 as the middleweight hero of the 1970s. Produced from 1971 to 1978, it was Honda's answer to riders who wanted the smoothness of the CB750 without the bulk. And what they got was one of the most dependable and versatile bikes of the era. Under the tank sat a 498 cubic centimeter AIR-cooled inline-4 engine, a refined, rev-happy power plant that made around 50 horsepower. It wasn't the fastest bike on the road, but it pulled cleanly to 9,000 RPM and had a top speed north of 100 miles per hour. It used Honda's wet sump system, which simplified oil maintenance and improved long-term reliability. And unlike the louder CB750, the CB500's quieter high-vo chain primary drive made for a smoother, a more refined ride. It handled like a dream. Lightweight, with responsive steering and a balanced chassis, the CB500 was comfortable enough for daily commuting, but stable enough for spirited weekend rides. Riders appreciated its upright ergonomics, manageable size, and classic Honda feel, and it lasted. The CB500 was overbuilt in the best way. Simple engine layout, easy valve adjustments, reliable carburetors, and durable components. Many of these bikes are still running today, often with tens of thousands of miles and minimal repairs. With timeless 1970s styling, a distinctive four-pipe setup, and that classic Honda whine, the CB500 is still turning heads at vintage meets. It may not have made the loudest entrance, but it quietly stood the test of time and earned its place in motorcycle history. The CB504 was smooth, reliable, and easy to live with, almost too easy. It gave you everything you needed for a daily ride. But if you wanted thrills over comfort, if you craved chaos instead of calm, that wasn't enough. You needed something leaner, louder, meaner, something that didn't just ride, it roared, that didn't follow the rules, it broke them. And that's exactly where the next bike comes in. It didn't care about being refined. It just wanted to tear up the pavement and leave your heart racing. Number 10, Yamaha RD350. If the 1970s had a two-wheeled rebel, it was the Yamaha RD350. Produced from 1973 to 1975, this lightweight two-stroke twin was a street-legal race bike disguised as an everyday ride. It wasn't just fast for its size, it redefined what a 350cc motorcycle could do. The RD350 packed a 347 cubic centimeter, air-cooled, two-stroke parallel twin engine with reed valve induction and Yamaha's auto-loop system, so no messy premixing was required. A true adrenaline rush on wheels, a 6-speed gearbox, sharp throttle response, and a top speed over 100 miles per hour made this little monster faster than many bigger bikes of its time. And while it screamed like a banshee at high revs, it still couldn't match the thundering torque of the parallel twin we'll meet at number 5. Handling? Razor sharp. With its double cradle frame and class-leading brakes, the RD350 was nimble and responsive, perfect for canyon carving or track day fun. The riding position leaned sporty, but it wasn't punishing. And despite being a high-strung two-stroke, Yamaha's engineering made maintenance simple. Parts are still widely available, and many of these bikes are still ripping around today. Chrome tank and unmistakable 70s silhouette, the RD350 is a cult classic. It's a favorite in the vintage racing scene and a go-to for restorers and collectors. Rebellion, about pushing limits. And while Honda engineered grace, Yamaha brewed something feral, something that didn't ask for permission. It was raw, it was loud, and it was fast in a way that felt almost illegal. Number 9, Yamaha DT250. The Yamaha DT250 might be the most versatile Japanese motorcycle of the 1970s. Released in 1971 and running strong through the early 80s, this dual sport legend was built for riders who wanted one bike to do it all: street, trail, and everything in between. Powered by a 246 cubic centimeter air-cooled two-stroke single, the DT250 delivered around 20 horsepower in a torquey, responsive ride. It wasn't a rocket, but it had plenty of grunt for off-road climbs and enough zip for everyday city riding. The power band was wide and forgiving, making it perfect for both beginners and seasoned enduro riders. The DT250 stood out with its upright riding position, lightweight chassis just 260.15 pounds dry, and revolutionary monoshock rear suspension inspired by Yamaha's motocross race bikes. It handled like a dream on back roads and rough trails while staying comfortable enough for long rides. Best part, it's tough as nails. The DT250's simple overbuilt engine and rugged frame mean it can take abuse and keep going. With basic maintenance, many of these bikes are still being ridden today, some even after decades in storage. By the way, the subscribe button's right there on the screen. Go ahead and tap it if you're enjoying the ride. The DT250 could go anywhere: trails, mountains, city streets, rugged, reliable, and unstoppable. But once you hit the open road, the cracks started to show, making long rides feel rough and rushed. Riders who wanted versatility without the trade-offs started looking for more. More power, more polish, fewer compromises, a bike that could handle weekdays, highways, and turn heads on Sundays. And that's exactly what our next legend was built to do perfectly. It didn't just blend categories, it rewrote the rulebook. Number 8, Kawasaki KZ650. The Kawasaki KZ650 is one of the most underrated legends of the 1970s. Nicknamed the son of Z1, it was designed as a smaller, more manageable version of the legendary Z1 900. Released in 1976, the KZ650 featured a 652 cubic centimeter AIR-cooled inline-4 engine, producing around 64 horsepower at 8,500 RPM. It came alive above 5,000 RPM, delivering strong, smooth acceleration all the way to a top speed of about 115 miles per hour. With a quarter-mile time of 13.45 seconds, it was quick enough to hang with bigger bikes while staying light and nimble. Weighing just over 460 pounds, the KZ650 handled beautifully, offering stability in corners and confidence on both city streets and highways. Its upright seating position and well-balanced suspension made it a surprisingly comfortable long-distance ride. But what really makes the KZ650 timeless is its rock-solid reliability. Its overbuilt engine, simple mechanics, and strong parts availability mean many examples are still on the road today, some with over 100,000 miles. Not bad for a junior superbike, though it still lives in the shadow of its big brother will near the end of the video. Add in its classic styling, signature exhaust note, and you've got a true sleeper from the golden era of Japanese motorcycles, one that absolutely lasts forever. The KZ650 gave riders a taste of superbike thrills without the intimidation. But not every game-changing bike is about performance. Sometimes it's about a bike that changed who could get on two wheels, one that made motorcycling more approachable than ever before, and that's where the story takes a surprising turn. And that is the kind of bike we will be talking about next. Number 7, Honda CB350. The Honda CB350 was everything a 1970s rider could want. Simple, reliable, stylish, and fun. Produced from 1968 to 1973, it became Honda's best-selling motorcycle of the era, with over 250,000 units sold. This was the everyman's bike, perfect for commuting, weekend rides, or even amateur racing. Under the tank was a 325 cubic centimeter air-cooled 4-stroke parallel twin that made 36 horsepower at a screaming 10,500 RPM. It revved high, accelerated quickly, and topped out just shy of 90 miles per hour. Riders loved its smooth, eager engine and responsive 5-speed transmission. Despite drum brakes and basic suspension, the CB350 handled well, thanks to its lightweight and stable geometry. What really made it shine was its build quality. Honda engineered this bike to last, with overbuilt components and a minimalist mechanical design. Most issues, like dirty carbs or aging points, are easy DIY fixes. Today, many CB350s are still running strong after decades in barns or garages. Add in its classic chrome fenders, candy-colored tanks, and signature exhaust note, and you've got a bike that's as timeless as it is practical. The CB350 isn't just a survivor, it's a symbol of an era when bikes were built to ride forever. But as great as the CB350 was, it still wasn't the bike every rider dreamed about. An older rival was already stealing its thunder, and you'll see exactly why next. Number 6, Honda CB550. The Honda CB550 was the sweet spot of Honda's 1970s lineup, a perfect middleweight that combined performance, comfort, and long-term reliability. Produced from 1974 to 1978, it gave riders the power of a four-cylinder engine without the bulk of the larger CB750. Powered by a 544 cubic centimeter air-cooled single overhead cam inline 4, the CB550 made about 50 horsepower at 8,500 RPM. It delivered smooth acceleration with a broad usable power band and topped out at around 109 miles per hour. Riders praised its lively yet manageable performance, ideal for both city commutes and weekend blasts. At 437 pounds dry, the CB550 was nimble yet stable, with predictable handling and a comfortable, upright seating position. Its 4x4 exhaust gave it that unmistakable vintage Honda sound, and the styling, chrome fenders, spoked wheels, and clean proportions cemented its classic status. What made the CB550 truly special, though, was its reliability. With simple mechanics, high-quality parts, and Honda's signature bulletproof design, these bikes are still on the road today, easy to maintain and a joy to ride. The CB550 remains a sleeper classic that delivers timeless appeal. Honda's CB550 was the sweet spot for everyday riders. But as the middleweight market evolved, in the same decade, another legend was rising. A bike that borrowed old-school British style, packed it with Japanese reliability, and became a cult classic that's still alive today. Let's check it out. Number 5. Yamaha XS650. The Yamaha XS650 is one of the most iconic and enduring Japanese motorcycles of the 1970s. Introduced in 1969, it blended classic British twin styling with Japanese reliability, making it a standout in its era and a legend today. Powered by a 653cc air-cooled SOHC parallel twin, the XS650 made about 53 horsepower and 54 Nm of torque. It delivered smooth, torquey power with a top speed of 115 miles per hour. The engine was praised for its durability, minimal oil leaks, and a deep, throaty exhaust note that became its signature. The riding experience was comfortable and confident, with upright ergonomics, wide seats, and rubber-mounted components to reduce vibration. The XS650 was ideal for commuting or longer rides. Handling was stable and predictable, and later models came with a front disc brake for improved stopping power. What really makes the XS650 last forever is its overbuilt simplicity. The air-cooled twin, minimal electronics, and rugged frame were designed for longevity. Parts are still easy to find, and maintenance is straightforward, even for beginners. From daily riders to cafe racers, the XS650 continues to attract loyal fans. It's proof that a well-designed, no-nonsense motorcycle can outlive trends and just keep going. Still, if you want true mechanical immortality, wait until you meet the little legend at the end of this list. But if that twin had you nodding in approval, brace yourself. The next machine changed motorcycling forever. It was the first of its kind, and every superbike owes it a debt. Number 4. Honda CB750. The Honda CB750 changed motorcycling forever. Debuting in 1969, it was the world's first mass-produced superbike, featuring a 736 cubic centimeter air-cooled inline-4, front disc brake, and electric start. With 67 horsepower and a top speed of 123 miles per hour, it brought high performance to the average rider at an affordable price. Honda's engineering made it powerful, smooth, and incredibly reliable. Riders loved its balanced character. The CB750 was comfortable for long tours, yet sporty enough to thrill. Its upright ergonomics, wide saddle, and stable handling made it friendly for both veterans and beginners. It was also the first bike many learned to maintain themselves thanks to its simple air-cooled engine and widespread parts availability. Reliability is legendary. These bikes regularly surpass 75,000 miles with routine maintenance. Common issues like carb tuning or electrical fixes are easily manageable, and countless CB750s still run strong today. Stylistically, the CB750 remains iconic with its 4 chrome exhaust pipes, spoked wheels, and muscular tank. Its deep, throaty exhaust note is unmistakable. More than just a motorcycle, the CB750 is a piece of history, a machine that started a revolution. Durable, timeless, universally respected. It's a true forever bike, but it wouldn't stay unchallenged for long. Kawasaki had an answer, and it roared to life in 1972. You'll meet it next. Revolutionary? Absolutely. But somehow, the next bike managed to dethrone it. Bigger, badder, and built like a... Number 2. Honda XL250. The Honda XL250 wasn't built to impress you with flashy horsepower or chrome overload. It was built to outlast everything else on the trail. Introduced in 1972, it was the world's first modern 4-stroke enduro and the first mass-produced motorcycle with a 4-valve head. And right from the start, it hit legendary status with a 248cc air-cooled single engine, making around 22 horsepower. The XL250 wasn't fast, but it didn't need to be. Its mellow, torquey thump and wide, flat power band made it perfect for technical trails, fire roads, or just cruising to work. It was simple, rugged, and engineered for abuse. The riding experience, smooth, nimble, and surprisingly comfy. Suspension travel was modest, and those drum brakes weren't stopping any time trials, but on real-world terrain. It just worked. The XL250 felt like it was carved from granite, minimal electronics, kickstart only, and it could take a beating like no other. Even today, you'll find them thumping along with 30,000 plus miles on the clock, still kicking over after a weekend in the shed. Its cult following only grows, with restorers and trail riders snapping them up before prices climb too high. The XL250 isn't flashy, it's honest, bulletproof, and built to last forever. That's why it's still out there, getting it done. But even the XL250 has to tip its helmet to one motorcycle that simply outlasts them all. A machine that didn't just survive the decades, it became part of everyday life across the entire planet. You see them everywhere, and they just keep going. Let's get into it, right now. Number 1. Honda Super Cub. The Honda Super Cub isn't just a motorcycle, it's the most produced motor vehicle of all time. Launched in 1958 and still going strong through the 70s with models like the C50, C70, and C90. It became the ultimate everyday machine, whether you were a student, a worker, or just needed reliable transport. The Super Cub was there to get the job done. Its air-cooled single-cylinder engine came in 49 cubic centimeters, 72cc, and 89cc sizes, with the C50 pushing out about 4.5 horsepower, just enough to hit 40+ miles per hour. But the real magic was its ease of use. The semi-automatic gearbox and step-through frame made it approachable, unintimidating, and dead simple to ride. It's not built for speed, it's built to last. Its splash-fed engine lubrication, minimal electronics, and no-nonsense design mean you could practically ignore it, and it would still keep running. Super Cubs have crossed countries, climbed mountains, and commuted for decades with only basic upkeep. Collectors love them, restorers adore them, and they're still working hard in cities and villages around the world. The Super Cub's friendly exhaust note, iconic silhouette, and unbelievable reliability are why it's more than just a bike. It's a legend that refuses to die, and that's why it's our number 1. Not the loudest, not the fastest, but easily the most legendary. Because in the end, the bike that lasts forever is the one that never lets you down. Want more? So don't stop here. Hit the next video, subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next.